Hello everyone, so today we're going to be looking at this Arduino as well as the circuit that I made. So this circuit is a voltmeter and it measures the voltage that, oh no, what just happened? Oh, we can just reset it and it should be fine. So we push the button on the Arduino and it resets. Perfect. So let's make sure not to touch the back again because it is a little sensitive and it can make some weird issues as you saw. So let's get back to it. So this is a voltmeter, as I was saying, and what it can do is it can just measure voltages. It's pretty simple, and it's one of the functions that you can see on a multimeter. This is my variable power supply, and we're testing it out here. And you can see that it is reading the voltages, and it's pretty close. It's a little bit off, but that's okay for our purposes. We're just trying to measure a voltage of a battery, and then we're going to drain the battery to a safe storing voltage. So we can go up to about 12 volts, which is what the battery I'm using is going to be. And you can see, yeah, it's still reading pretty close. It's a little off, but that is okay. So how does this work? Well, let me try to explain that to you. So over here, when we take a look at the circuit, we see two resistors, and that is really what the circuit is. Everything else is just for the other functions, like the alarm that I have. And it's pretty simple, so let's measure the resistances of those resistors. So one of the resistors value, let's see here, take that out of the breadboard. And the resistance of this one is 90 kiloohms, and the resistance of the other one is 10 kiloohms. So now that we have these resistors, we can measure the voltage between the two resistors. That will give us some range, and we can use some math to figure out what the voltages actually will be. And we can take a look at that in a second here. Let me just put that back in, and let's take a closer look at it. So this works by having our positive voltage come into our first pin here, and that is going to our 90 kiloohm resistor, which is then connected to this wire, which goes to our analog pin. We then have the other resistor, a 10 kiloohm resistor, that is connected to another pin that is going to our ground. And we have the ground of our power coming in, and we're going to connect that to the other one just for simplicity's sake. So it's a pretty easy circuit to make and doesn't take much at all. And now we can look at the code if you want, just to see how it works. So here in the code we have the first line here, which is just importing the libraries for the LCD screen, then a bunch of variables, which are mostly for the resistor value. And then down here we have where we're printing to the serial as well to the setting up the LCD display. We have a delay, otherwise it'll flash on the screen too much. And then down here we have the values from the input voltage. So it's just being calculated by that math we were talking about earlier. And then here we have, if it's below a certain amount, I did 0.9 volts, it will just make it 0. That just is for simplicity's sake to make it easier. And then down here, it's printing to the serial, just so we know what the input voltage is there. And down below, this is printing to our actual LCD screen. And then this is where the alarm will come in. If it's below a certain voltage, it will set the alarm off, just so we know to unplug it from the circuit that we're using. That way it doesn't deplete too much and ruin our battery. I could also add something like a relay that would undo it automatically, but I was too lazy to do that. And if you guys want, go ahead and try to do that yourself to make it even better. So we're going to look at it in the action now, and here it is. So we can see it's reading the voltage, and it's almost at a threshold of 11.5. And it's not perfect, so every once in a while it will go below and set off the alarm. So we are getting pretty close. I'm going to tape this up just because it is pretty loud, and that just makes it a little quieter. So as you can see over here, that's what's draining our battery, is that light spinning thing, and that is what drains the voltage of the battery. So if you like this video and want to see more like it, make sure to like and subscribe and check out my other videos.